much money and chasing your dreams. DJ B turn the place, everything. Marriage and relationships are not about rings. Trying to raise a family is so insane. He tries to keep politics off the brain. But sitting in the questions, he might just scream. Business and entrepreneurship is his thing. There is society,
and there is reality.
That's my dad. That's my dad.
Welcome. BBT, and you can ask me anything. How y'all doing today? I'm excited. We won. Yes. So if this is your first time listening to your boy, I ended up coming on as a coach of my kids' flag football team. This is his first year playing, and I'm coaching the defense. And last week was my first game, and we lost 32-0 or 30-0. And I remember after the game, I sent a message to the head coach, and I said, listen, I know we lost. I know you were upset, but I saw a lot of good things. And I said, listen, this is my suggestions. That's it. I'm just the head coach. The assistant coach. You're the head coach. And these are my suggestions. And I was pleased that he got my message. He said, yeah, I agree with your assessment. And so last week in practice, we made some changes. And unfortunately, we were playing the number one team. They were 6-0. And, the team knows they're running roughshod over everyone. And I told the coach, I said, look, we're going to win. If we run what we're supposed to run, we're going to win. And a lot of the boys, they wasn't overly confident, but, they said we're going to execute, we're going to perform, and we're going to keep a good attitude. And lo and behold, we went from scoring 0 points last week to 34 points this week. And we won. We won. So, yeah, I'm super excited. My first time coaching my kids, first time coaching a youth in this capacity, and I enjoy it. I think for me, it's not just about the sport. It's about teaching these young men how to fight through adversity, how to be a team, how to support one another. It's not about just you. You got to look out for the people around you. I tell my son all the time, he always say, Daddy, when I get older, I want to be a leader. I want to run your company. I say, if you want to be a leader, you got to know how to work in a group environment. That's part of the reason why he's played sport. I'm not the biggest fan of my kids playing sports, and I had my reason. We could talk about that in another show, but I wanted him to be in a team environment. I wanted him to have to deal with the adversity. If you not perform, your team is going to get in your butt. You got to be able to deal with that. And he's still having his challenges, but I think overall he's going to come out on top. He has a lot of talent, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, as far as the team, we won, and I'm excited. And I think that because this league allows all the teams to go in the playoffs, I think we're going to do some damage. So be on the lookout for that. So yes. Let's jump right into some tweets of the day. The first tweet. Oh, before I go into the tweets, I wanted to give y'all a quick update on the presidents. So basically, Elon Musk did a poll on Twitter. I talked about this in the last couple shows, and it's to reinstate former President Donald Trump. Just give you an update. With 5 hours left, they're up to 13 million votes. And right now, it's 52.1% saying yes and 47.9% saying no. So, yeah, we're getting the idea of the power of Twitter. And once again, it's 5 hours left. So if you don't want Trump back, you need to go and vote. Vote. If you want him back, keep voting. Because right now, he has a pretty slim lead, about 5% lead, 4% lead at 52 to almost 48%. So, all right, let's jump right into the tweets of the day. First tweet, President Biden says millions of Americans will travel home for the holidays and will get hit with hidden junk fees from airlines, hotels, maybe even tickets for a holiday show the family wants to see. It isn't right. My administration takes action to reduce or eliminate these surprise fees. You're telling me all the things that's going on in the world, and President Biden is talking about junk fees. Next tweet. Jesse Pujji says, in only 2 weeks, Elon Musk has managed to cut costs 75% ensure his team is fully aligned, bought into his way of working, leverage the media to get billions of free impression. Chef's kiss. I don't know what that means. Has anyone gotten a turnaround going that fast before? Yeah, I think that people don't understand. They want to make a big fuss about all of these people that resigned or quit or left. And when you run the business, that's, I believe Twitter was running in the red. One of the easiest things you can do to reduce your expenses is to lay off people. But I'm not even gonna give you my logic behind it. But yes, I agree with this tweet. Next tweet. John Rich says, if people stand, the game is over. Yes, I agree. Let's clap for that. I'm looking at you. This is all a game. It's a game. And the moment you understand the game is the moment you realize the power that you have as an individual. And if we start to understand it individually, we'll understand the power we have as a unit. And it's about unity. But if you never embrace the power you have, the game will continue to get played and you will continue to be played. Next tweet. Code to the friend says, home is a place that most of us got to create. And once you build that home, you never want to leave. That's my guy. I'm telling y'all, if you need an album or an artist to follow that's speaking truth, that's empowered, uplifting, and that is really good, go get Code to the Friend. Get any of his albums. I would say get his last album, get his first album. The guy is a beast. But yes, home is a place that most of us got to create. Starts up here. Next tweet. Matt Wallace says Elon Musk has been able to successfully run Twitter for days with only 50 people, 50 employees. What the heck were those other 79 people, 7,950 people even doing? Yeah, I mean, what were they doing? It's just interesting to me that once again, the media wants to make this front and try to blow it up that Elon doesn't know what he's doing. But at the end of the day, this nigga's, he's saving money. He has, gotten trimmed the fat, and he has the people that want to be there that's there. So those are the tweets for the day. Tweet. Tweet. Out. Oh, boy. Too bad. Luckily, it wasn't too hot. But let me jump into this video from Jason Whitlock, and then I am going to share my reaction to it. So fair use. Hopefully, Mr. Whitlock, fearless, you don't have a problem me paying. This video is for educational purposes only. So let's do this. And let's do this.
You were closely connected to Jay-Z and Rockaware and all of that. I would like, what was your relationship with Jay-Z and the whole Rockefeller deal, and how do you view that time and Jay-Z now?
I viewed it was a great opportunity for me because at that time, Reebok wasn't messing with me, Nike wasn't messing with me. I was kind of like the black sheep of the NFL as much as you know in Kansas City. So it became a deal where I had a clothing store and we were selling Rockaware. And I just got closer just by chance of meeting Dame Dash first, and he signed me under his athletic label, Team Rock. And then that's how I met Jay-Z. So now after Jay-Z and Dame split, I went with Jay to be with Rockaware. And then I signed a deal for S-Starter cleats when he had his cleat and I wore his cleats. I mean, it was a good business situation because who wasn't a fan of Jay-Z and the late 90s, early 2000s. Everybody pretty much was. But now I see it was strained because I kept being arrested. I can't tell you how many times he emailed me and told me to stay out of the clubs, but I wouldn't listen. So we had to part ways because of it was an image problem. Now that I shut myself down and was gone out of the media for like 5 or 6 years, I came back and started digging and found out who he really is and why he says the thing that he says and who his allegiance is with. And I don't have any beef with him, but because of my strength and spirit and strength with the word, we happen to be, budding frenemies or enemies. And that's just the way it is. I have nothing against him, but what he stands for, I see much more than just, raps on lyrics.
Walk me through, you said something interesting that Jay-Z, though, during your playing career, was actually giving you good advice. Yes?
Yeah, I still remember the time it was, I think the last incident in Kansas City, before I got traded, released, he told me, email me, mad. He cursed me out, really. He cursed me out and told me to stay out the effing clubs. And he said, I can't vouch for you if you're going to keep getting in trouble. And I understood that. And mind you, I still didn't listen because my evolution at that time was very stagnant. So I was really going with the flow. I didn't know where I was going to end up. I didn't know what I was going to do for my future. Football is really all I knew. And it took me to lose everything to really build myself back up to find out what things really are. That's why I have no real animosity to Jay-Z, Beyonce, and my time at Rockaware. It was truly a blessing and a learning experience, and I got to see things that I'd never seen before. But now, because I had those experiences, now I'm able to shed a deeper light because I've been around them before. So my words now, when I'm standing in truth, are ringing louder than it would at my time for Rockaware because I stand for something completely different now.
And so, as best you can, or as comfortable, what do you think Jay-Z stands for now?
Well, it's obviously they've been controlled by Satanism. I mean, I'm not really scared to say that. We all know Luciferians, Freemasons, and all the cult knowledge that was drugged up from Egypt have now surfaced itself in American society. And if you actually dig through raps like as I have, before it was all about partying and popping bottles. But when you listen to it again with a new ear, obviously they're not serving the same most high God that I am. And that's what makes us enemies, that I stand for a completely different doctrine, a completely different nation, and a completely different truth than he does. I don't have any materialism attached to my spirit or soul anymore. I don't have fornication attached to my spirit anymore. I mean, I just got engaged July. So my life is completely different from how I was with women in the early 2000s. And I think that is the difference in itself of being evolved with Rockaware has made me see something completely different, and knowing who his allegiance is with is not the Most High God, and we all know, Satan rules this realm.
So there you go. There you go. You heard from Larry Johnson. If you don't know, Larry Johnson is at one stretch. I can't remember the years, but he was one of the best running backs in the league. I mean, he dominated, and he was signed with the Rock. He used to throw up the diamond, and yeah, he was a Rock boy. And yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of time to talk a little bit about Jay-Z from my perspective. I don't know Jay-Z. I did actually meet him one time at a conference in Virginia Beach a long time ago. Just kind of, hey, how you doing? That type of thing. I guess he looked at me as a fan. And I'm the type of person that, even to this day, if you ask me who's my top 5 all time, Jay-Z's number 1, right? Be Jay-Z. Between it rotates now because I kind of, Biggie, Pac, then Nas, then Kanye, or Kanye, Nas, but Kanye and Nas have moved up. So it's kind of between those 5 people. And sometimes if I move out Biggie and Pac, I may have Kendrick in there. I like the young guy, Coda the Friend. Yeah, so those are kind of like my top 5. But throughout college, coming up, obviously when I was a different type of person, I used to get in arguments all the time. Who's the best rapper, especially between Nas and Jay-Z? Jay-Z say that real stuff. He's from the streets, man, that he could relate. I could relate to him so much. He's talking about the hustle. I love that he was a visionary. Well, not was. He's a visionary. He would say what's going to happen. He would make it happen. And so I've always been the person that has defended Jay-Z, whether he had the falling out with Dame. I'm with Team Jay-Z because I like the guy and I always respected his rap. But I always had an issue with Jay-Z from this perspective. I always say, damn, why can't he make another Reasonable Doubt? Why can he never make a hood album or a conscious album, right? He has it in him. He does it on certain songs. Why does he have to cross over? And then the more I started to understand about Jay-Z or hear different perspectives, I would hear he's about that money, whether it's listening to a Dame Dash interview. And obviously you can't really get caught up in everything Dame's saying because obviously there's a bias. They had their issue. Jay kept Rockaware. So obviously they're, and even now I used to always defend Jay. Well, Dame's just salty. Dame's just salty. And then I really listened to an entire interview. I'm like, hold up. All right, Dame is saying this. And then when you start to listen to other people that had close connection with you, like, hold up. This is consistent. And don't get it twisted. I've had falling outs with a lot of people. When you're a person that's constantly going forward, you're going to have falling out with people that's not necessarily going in the same direction as you. And so there's no but. I think that's the reality. But there's no but. I started to realize like there was consistent, falling outs with every level that Jay-Z's in, whether he was the president of Def Jam, whether he was an artist. If you think about it, what artist has Jay-Z ever pulled up? I mean, who's he ever put on like that? I mean, you can say Kanye, but then there's the argument, no, Dame found Kanye and Kanye pulled himself up. So that's that. So when you really think about it, like who did Jay ever really pull up as an artist? Then you say, or as an executive, okay, who did Jay really like put on? Because remember, a lot of artists had issues with Jay because Jay would put his music, they felt like he put his music before them. Then obviously you had the issues with Dame. And now let's fast forward to the present. I mean, you see Jay is trying to put a bid in for the Commanders with Bezos. I had a side eye with that. I'm like, why do you need to go to Bezos? There's a lot of other blacks that you can partner with to try to buy the team so it could be a minority black ownership stake. Why does Bezos have to be in? And then you see when he had the whole thing with Kaepernick, he went with the NFL, and some people say that was a good thing. I don't know. I don't follow closely enough to say. And I'm not speaking these words to condemn Jay. I'm just saying it's just interesting to me that everyone that has a close connection with him in a business sense or in general, they end up having a falling out. And to hear Larry Johnson go as deep as the Satanism, now I've heard things like this. Obviously, you hear about the Illuminati, you hear about the Satanism, stuff like that. And honestly, when I hear that goes in one ear out the other, nah, man, nah. But I think about what really triggered me was when doing Kanye, when he went off at Jay and Beyonce, and it was like, hold up. Because one thing about me, I don't follow no celebrity. I don't follow anyone like that. But there's certain ones that really resonate me, whether it's their music, whether it's just my imagery of them, just kind of what my soul tells me, or the feeling I get. And Kanye's one of them guys. Like no matter the rants that I'm not saying he's done everything right. I've definitely seen and believe there's a lot of different things that he's done wrong. But for the most part, I think he's a genuine person in the sense of he has good intentions. And so when he had that little rant about Jay-Z and Beyonce, it was like, oh. So just putting it all together. And then now with everything that's going on with Kyrie, Kyrie, Kanye, Chappelle, all these things. And Jay is kind of one of the he's the imagery of black success for a lot of people. He's been quiet. And then only time you see him, he's popping up with Bezos to buy the Commanders. So I'm sure he'll have an album come out to address it, but I think sometimes your words can be just as impactful as your music. And it's just interesting to me that he's so quiet. So when I hear things like what Larry Johnson said about the Satanists and the spirit, it's like, oh man, like this is just another thing that I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be in such a likeness to a Jay-Z because maybe there is something more that I missed because I fell in love with Reasonable Doubt and how he came out in a lot of the music that he put out. So anyway, what do you think? Do you think that Larry Johnson, Jason Whitlock are reaching? You think I'm reaching with what I'm saying? Please definitely let me know your comments and your thoughts. So, but I think that's all I got. I'm just super excited about the win today. I may jump on later. For now, I'm gonna take a nap because I'm tired. After a win like that, that thing was an emotional roller coaster. So I hope y'all have a good day. Peace.